are going to be crowned your champions of the K7 League. Folks, welcome to K7.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh,
first kill there by Kill. The frags rolled on the second is going to be big. Rejects is there. Now Dassin trying to make a play. Will go for one. Tries to free fire onto the second from behind. Here comes Atomic for two.
this is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna
Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Shifty here, joined by Alex McCormish. Hey, are you ready for this?
It's time, baby. Kill it back to the middle of the map. Rejects gonna slide out.
Goes in, slays people out, especially with the atomic on.
Hawaii on the staircase. Actually gonna get killed by a reject there. You already see Kill up back over towards the top house by P2.
We have been waiting so long for the season to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is K7 League, and I am the desk host here for this evening's matchup between these two potential titans of this group. And joining me for today's production is going to be Kyle McCart, Comica, and Jonah Hendershot, the gaming chef. Welcome, guys. Thank you. Comica, are you excited for this matchup?
Of course, how could I not be? These are two teams that we've seen in other places as well, just really making a name for themselves. Team Final Strike, obviously the harbingers of the early game tournaments in cTc Gold, making great names for themselves as well. So I would say this is one of the most highly anticipated matches of the early season.
And the gaming chef, I've heard you've been cooking up a bit of excitement on your end as well. Any players maybe you've heard about across these teams, or any excitement in general for any of the teams in the K7 League this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. Team Final Strike, cTc, they are all over the place, all in a whole bunch of leagues. I've seen them absolutely slaying it out, and K7's the place to be. This is where they want to shine their brightest. I've seen Viri, Dyer, Keprin, and Zimothy just a couple days ago. Those guys were going crazy, 3-0 out there. Team Final Strike, I casted back a little bit ago. And Spitta, I've seen do some crazy stuff, so I'll be looking at those players tonight.
Oh, without a doubt. And besides just looking at the players, looking at these orgs, we will be looking at a few maps here as well in the best of 5. And I think it's about time we jump over to those as we got ourselves Hardpoint S&D, Hardpoint S&D. It is week 1. No control, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry if you guys are a bit butthurt or anything about no control being in the mix, but we got ourselves Boat Cage, number 1, Berlin, number 2, Tuscan, number 3, and then we got a Berlin and Tuscan to round out 4 and 5 if we get that extension. This is a bloody series that we should be expecting here to happen on stream. But Comica, based off of some of your insight about these two teams, do you believe that it's going to be a little bit one-sided?
Oh, that is the question, Trix. I think it's going to be really hard to tell on Bocage. I think it's obviously going to be the hardest to tell because it's so much of a mixy map. You're just dicing it up, fighting each other all the time. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for you to get into a little bit of a death train and have some bad performances based off of that. And going into Berlin, I know that these teams are both very accomplished in Search and Destroy, but more so Team Final Strike. So I think that a lot of these are going to be determined in the hard points, I would say, when we get to Tuscan and the second Berlin.
Hey, Chef, I heard you're a fan of S&D, and looking at the two maps of S&D coming up in this one, which one are you sort of maybe more of a fan of, Berlin or Tuscan? And give me a little bit of an insight why so.
I've seen both of these maps over and over and over again. They're pretty much the only two that ever happened. So definitely have a lot of insight. Berlin, a lot of pushes on B. Don't see too much going on A, honestly. And Tuscan, I see a lot of fast plants, and then they can never defend the A site that well, and then they just go B and absolutely slay out the opponent. So a lot of A on Tuscan. Personally, I like Tuscan because I feel B happens a little more, and it's always that wild card that almost always comes out successful, and the rotations I feel a little more easier. So it'll be interesting how we see the teams utilize that tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of that AB, thinking about Super Smash Brothers on the old school controllers when it comes to that one. But without a doubt, we have to also bring love and bring some introductions to these teams and their rosters. Coming up, we will have ourselves Team Final Strike to start off this roster roundout, as we got them coming in hot as heavy off of the leagues that they compete in. We got Wheat, who I go by as Yeet because he yeets players off of those hills. We got Spida, D-Passion or P-Dashin or depressed in the game. And then we got ourselves Trauma at the end. What a solid name he has. Definitely traumatic experiences his opponents feel when they play up against him. But coming in from the side of cTc Gold, it will be a completely other roster of 4 coming through. And we got Zimothy to head that spear. He's the tip of it. We got ourselves Weary, as the second player there. Dire, not to be confused by Dire Wolves, if any of you guys think that, but he definitely is as hungry as a Dire Wolf on that map. And Keprin, one of the slightly sort of MVP player candidates out of this team to have made it in conversation amongst the first 3 days of the action here in the K7 League. But these are your two rosters. That completes the roundup. And we'll be getting the faces back on screen for you folks. And Kamika and the Gaming Chef, do you guys have some early predictions, knowing these rosters, knowing the maps? Do you guys have an idea on who you might think to come out on top and in what style? Kamika, we'll go with you to start.
Well, in a lot of these games that we've casted together, Trix and Chef, I always have to say, by default, just because of how good Team Final Strike is at Search and Destroys, I usually give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to win all the Search and Destroys. And that same is probably going to be true up against cTc Gold tonight, as I see now, new intel by the way, that they're having to play with a sub instead of Zimothy. And so it really depends on how well they do in the hard points. This first one, it's going to be hard, so the most likely one for cTc Gold to have trouble with is going to be the first map. So if they can win on this one, I think their chances going forward are going to increase tremendously.
Okay, thank you for your insight. You got yourselves with team. You have Team Final Strike taking this one, right, Kamika?
I do. At the end of the day, I do.
Yeah, in a 3-1, 3-0, 3-2, what do you feel?
Say 3-1. I'm gonna have to say 3-1.
Okay, we got a 3-1 Final Strike for Kamika. Mr. Chef, you cooking up a different story, or do you got the same answer here?
It's gonna be tough. Do we hear who the sub is tonight?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay. That's definitely gonna be the make or break. But I know that Viri, Dire, and Keprin have that team set out. Zim obviously cleans it out to an awesome 4. I just seen them go against 410. Well, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and good golly, was that the closest game I've ever seen. Hardpoint came down to the final second. It ran out of time, and it all came down to a contest, to a 194-193 loss for cTc, and ended up losing the series because of it. Their hardpoint game is just almost flawless. I think Final Strike might have those S&Ds, but I'm going to have to go cTc with those hard points, rounding it out 3-2 for the win tonight.
Oh, you got an extended map 5 win in your predictions. Well, for me, I'll round off my prediction here with a Final Strike. You know, got to go with the boys in orange, and I'm thinking 3-0. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was because I had a bagel earlier, or my brother was eating a donut when he walked past me just before the cast here. But I'm thinking there's going to be a big old donut happening here, and unfortunately, I got to throw it over to cTc. Though I do like the opportunity to paint them as an underdog, and by far an underdog in this one in my books. So I'd love to see if that dog can bite and bark louder than their opponents here in Final Strike. But from my knowledge right now, we still aren't necessarily ready for the game yet, or we're still waiting on a few players. So while we continue to wait, I feel like we're going to go to a short break, and then we'll come back and hopefully have the action for you guys. And it will be probably just the Gaming Chef and Kamika to give you their voices over the action.
want you to stay. I 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 can feel I'm changing. I don't know if I'll ever go back. All the ways that you make me build me up on the things I lack. I don't ever wanna lose you now. 'Cause I don't think I'll make it here now. 'Cause it's you and only you. 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 I don't know where the time goes. It just flies when I hold you close. In my arms with your eyes closed. For the first time I've got hope. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here now. I don't ever wanna lose you now. I don't think I'll make it here now. 'Cause it's you and only. 'Cause it's you and only. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you. 'Cause it's you and only you. Because it's you and only you.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with cTc Gold versus Team Final Strike. Not quite in the game yet, so yeah, you're going to be able to see Trix at least a little bit longer.
Oh, I'm here. Oh, hey guys. I thought we were in game. I was responding to somebody asking me about my GA list, but I'm back. This is the K7 League, mother. We are here, and we are ready for that action. Oh, that sweet, sweet action that we've been waiting for between Final Strike and cTc, who also, for those of you who don't know what cTc stands for, it means Command Then Conquer. Did you guys know that, Comica and Chef?
I
actually did.
I got them on Twitter.
Me too.
Well,
They have a stick logo too.
these guys both got them on Twitter. Do you folks that are watching from home have them on Twitter? Well, you should, as well as Team Final Strike. And of course, if you haven't already, drop the follow to K7 League, who definitely cares about not just the viewer, not just the player, but us, the producers. We're not smiling here because we don't want to be smiling here. We're smiling here because we want to. And that's because K7 League's awesome.
Big facts. Having a great old time here. But yeah, we do have a little bit of new information here, Trix. We do have the name of the substitute that's going to be playing in the place of Zimothy, who had a little bit of a don't know what happened to him type of situation, just vanished up into the ether, got snapped out of existence by Thanos. But yeah, the player that's going to be replacing him is going to be ZZ Sense, but we're going to be referring to him as Zents. And apparently, according to our analysts, he is quite cracked.
Yeah, maybe. Chef, do you have any experience with him?
I do not. Maybe he came across my screen at one point, but didn't really stand out to me. We'll see if he gets to a starting position on the team tonight because of how his actions progress. Definitely a good showcase game for him.
Yeah, and as we get into this first map, both these teams coming in here, I believe, undefeated, not just series-wise, but also map-wise. Correct me if I'm mistaken. But yeah, this will be a true clash of the Titans, regardless of if they have their full teams in or not.
Yeah, we're going to see them push off of this P1. It's all about that control of P2. Looks like Final Strike has it, but we're going to see Viri go all the way around. YE trying to hold that off. See if he can catch a glimpse. There he is. Shoots him from the side, but Team Final Strike still has that spawn. Gonna be interesting who can hold it here.
Yeah, Team Final Strike doing a very good job of holding things down, but cTc, they're not totally trapped up in their spawn. They do kill the guy on the outside of the map. That's Dashin. But, I mean, cTc, they are getting a little bit caught out by the Team Final Strike players. They're no idiots. They know that they're trying to rotate for these spawns. And that's why they constantly send people like Trauma, like Dashin, and YE around that corner. Although it does appear that Dyer has slipped through the cracks and might be able to cause some trouble for the hill pops.
Yeah, Dyer with a big kill there on Spida. And now it is all cTc spawning their complete flip around. And Dassin is going all the way around to try and get from behind. Trauma right there with him. Ooh, big trade there. Big trade. And we see Zent spawning behind, and he gets wiped out. Now look at cTc has those spawns up top on Barn. Can they push Team Final Strike back into this corner and take this point?
The answer to that is it's going to be hard. They do have a little bit of presence mid-map, but as soon as they try and push out, they're all killed, and YE picks up on it as well, so it's a slaughter in the middle of the map. They do manage to kill the guy off the objective, so while Team Final Strike does try and get back control over the middle, it does leave them prone to Viri, who's now on an amazing head glitch and able to pretty much kill anyone who decides to challenge him and trying to go for this objective. So Viri, as long as he doesn't get a little bit blindsided by multiple players, he's in a good spot to keep this going on. And his teammates also got the rotation here, so cTc Gold, this is the best thing we've seen them do so far, and they might be able to take this to the bank.
Yeah, I love how cTc Gold's already there. Look how far behind Team Final Strike is. cTc really needs a good 60 on this point, take this lead, and Spida is pushing in. Is he going to wait for some teammates, or is he just going to go for it? He can get Keprin from behind. Looks like he's just going to run right through. No one seeing him yet. Viri from behind. Here we go. All right, some teams start to get slayed out. He gets taken out from the back window, though. That's a double for Keprin in there. Keprin putting in a lot of work there. Does get traded out, though. Look at this. A lot of cTc holding this off.
Yeah, nice little moves from Kepler, and only one that can take him down apparently is Viri, his own teammate. And it's a good thing that he's on your team and not up against you, otherwise he'd be dying a lot more often, I would think. But yeah, cTc, this has been a good hill for them. They're gonna definitely get the last couple of seconds off of this, or it's gonna be contested, as now I see that they flip out the spawns. So cTc, they can hold the middle of the map here. They're in a great spot to get another great rotation. That kill onto, I think it was Viri and Dire, is going to be making things a little bit dicey, as now Team Final Strike starting to whittle away at their control and get some players in around the back for a multi-pronged break.
Yeah, cTc already set up nicely, but Team Final Strike looking to get the spawns. If they can win these firefights, clean them out, they're going to have the advantage here. See, everyone's starting to collapse in. There's only one player in the back. Can they take care of Viri? No! Viri catches 2 out of there. Keprin as well. Team Final Strike looking to get wiped out. Spitta now the last one for his team, and he gets taken out. The cTc can set up this defense. They can hold this.
Honestly, they were looking pretty good there for the moment, cTc, but the problem is that they didn't have as domineering of a setup as they really needed to. Team Final Strike, it's very hard to full team wipe them, and because they weren't able to fully do that, they were so weakened on the objective that they weren't able to prevent them from just pushing back in over and over again as soon as they were able to come off the respawn. So that's why so much time didn't go into the hands of cTc as normally it might have. Now, we see Team Final Strike on a solid rotation. Deaths going down in the middle of the map might cause cTc to be able to get into a position for a good rotation. They've got control over P2, and this could be a good breaking point for them.
Yeah, look at that. They have the spawn, but cTc is collapsing in, but they all funnel. Look at that. It's just one guy left. Zents is the only one over there. Can they wipe him out? Look how far back, all the way back on 10, cTc is spawning right now. They have such an uphill battle to make it over here, and Team Final Strike is set up so nicely on this point. I think it's going to be quite difficult to get in.
Yeah, it really is. They do knock down the guys in the back of the map, so they are going to be flipping things out here, but it's kind of at a time where Team Final Strike will welcome that trade. It doesn't quite fully come out just yet, which I guess really at the end of the day benefits cTc Gold, but they need to be a little bit worried about how much they're dying here at the end of this hill, because not because the spawns will flip like in Cold War, but it will make it so that Team Final Strike can extend themselves off this objective and into their back spawn. You see, Keprin, he's worried about this right now. He's getting into a position where he can prevent a solid rotation. In the meantime, Dire trying to do some damage in the center of the map, takes down one, and going to be looking to get a little bit of time off this P1 as well.
Yeah, Spitta is right there on P1, looking to maybe catch some time on the hill, hold this barn down. Look for Viri up top, possibly. No, I don't think he knows that he's up there. It is a battle for this P2 spawn. Look at cTc just with Keprin now. Team Final Strike has a whole half of the map in their favor. Look at this.
Yeah, they did completely wipe them out, but it's a good clapback slightly here from cTc Gold. They do give streaks into the hands of, I think it was Dashin. But yeah, that's going to be something that they're going to have to worry about another time. Now, 2 players having streaks going into the open objective. This could be a little bit difficult for cTc Gold. They had the spawns for just a second, but now Team Final Strike putting together back-to-back full team wipes. It's really starting to seem like Team Final Strike getting their opponents in a little bit of a death train. Can they escape it, though? That's going to be the real question here, Chef.
Yeah, cTc is not doing too bad of a job, but they're just not getting on the hill. They're able to slay out Team Final Strike, but like you said, they can't team wipe them completely, and they just respawn in there, right back in the fight, and these gunfights are going pretty 50-50, but I mean, in the end of the day, it feels like Team Final Strike just has that one extra kill every single time. But look at again on the map, cTc has it. There's a streak coming down, possibly to break it open. Why eat right there on Barn, waiting for some teammates, possibly getting some members on the rotation as well. Going to be interesting how they set up this next point.
Oh my god, Dashin, what a horrible streak, my dude. I feel so bad for that one. But yeah, at least he's going to be making it so that his opponents can't extend past, or maybe even not that. They use 2 of their streaks to not so great effect on that objective, I'm going to be totally honest with you, dude. Yeah, they streak 1 off because they finally weakened Dire, but yeah, and then they completely botched the secondary streak, and oh, that's a good turn on by YE. But you see cTc Gold, that opens the door for them in a spot where it really shouldn't have been. They break the hill, and the only one that can really do much to stop this and be a wild card is Dashin.
Yeah, it is a big 50-50 battle right now. Who's going to end up with this point? 40 seconds still on the hill. Look at Spitta going absolutely nuts. That's 3 for him there. His teammates finally fill in. Now it's on YE to hold it off. He's completely surrounded, it looked like. No, is their team final strike able to get it? Wow, this is trades after trades. But YE is in the power position here, getting some points for the hill as we rotate out here.
Yeah, cTc Gold making a very strong last-second committal to the objective, and it will be allowing Team Final Strike to slip through the cracks. You see Dashin making all the awesome plays, completely splits things out, and while cTc Gold is still fighting tooth and nail and being distracted by these last 2 seconds, Team Final Strike, they're getting up into next. Not totally set up just yet, especially now that Trauma has completely run out of the building on them. So cTc, a little bit of a let-off there from them after that mistake.
Yeah, again, it looks like a nice 50-50 battle. Both teams are spawning on opposite sides of the barn here, just filling in. It seems like they're just throwing bodies on it, and they're not really putting any strategy towards it, but cTc looking like they're able to hold off some of the barn doors and pushes Team Final Strike back on 10. And I think that cTc is going to be able to hold this off unless they can collapse in on them, which it looks like Dashin's about to do. There it is. Team Final Strike has that one, but 20 seconds left. At least get someone on the hill. Look how close the score is. 3 seconds are going to count.
Yeah, Team Final Strike, they're trying to think about the long game here because the game is starting to get so close. They're probably thinking, we really need to start getting next time as well. There's only 10 seconds left to fight for here. We don't want to fall into the same pitfall that almost lost our opponents a lot of time, but we kind of messed up, and that's not why we're not totally ahead right now. But cTc, they are going to be beating out Dashin on that rotation. Might be able to catch the mid-map. They're in all the power positions except for the one on top by the tower on the far bottom side of the map. Trauma could be calling in his secondary streak now to try and force them away. Those players, they probably wouldn't die if they had fortified, but they don't want to get weakened for the upcoming push.
Yeah, no one really on the hill. Keprin doing his best to try and hold that off while his teammates come in. It's Dassin on the point. Feel like Dassin's putting in a lot of work for his team, being a substitute. Look at that, 40 seconds on the hill, 27-23. Coming out your first game. YE, speaking of all that, 5, 6. What is this guy doing? Where is he going? Just everywhere. Oh my god, let's follow this guy. Let's see if he could get this guy on the bar. No, he's just going to reset here. Okay, looking to get spawns for his team. All right, here's Dyer. Here's going to run into it. Oh, his streak ends. I think he was full streaked up, though, as we go into a fresh rotation.
Just totally streaked out. I think, like, for a solid minute, all 8 kills were just him back to back to back. His teammates know that he can do stuff like that, and they're like, all right, dude, go nuts. And he absolutely did go nuts in that instance. So, cTc, not in the best of positions to come back into this game. They're going to be trying to get some time off of this one, goad their opponents into challenging them out for it, which could lead to some gaps being open, which is exactly what happens. Keprin going to be killing their anchor player at the back, and now Dashin having to pick up the pieces for his fallen teammates. Does manage to get Keprin, but it might be a little bit too late. The cTc Gold players are a lot closer to him than his teammates are, so they might be able to find him out in the back.
Yeah, ooh, big kill there for Dassin in the back, trying to also find Keprin now. Going through the barn, yeah, he's just going to get spawned out, completely surrounded. No help from Team Final Strike as he tried to solo that whole entire rotation. It's just not going to work. Now it's going to be Trauma and Dashin again, trying to push through the tank side. Some big trades coming in. I think Trauma, yeah, nice power position, but he's going to get taken out by Zent. And it looks like cTc is going to have the upper hand going into this point.
What a great looking hold going into a hill that you need to come back on. YE is going to catch another weakened Dyer off the objective, and I think the spawns are going to be flipping any second now. No, I think they're not quite in the proper flip position just yet. So Dashin could be a little bit of an annoyance towards Veery. He does take him out, but Dyer there for the trade, but he gets absolutely stuffed in the process. So it was looking good for cTc, it really was, but that streak is going to be knocking their player off of time, and a scramble to get the time is going to be leading cTc Gold to a lot of deaths. Good thing for them is that right now, at the very least, their opponents are not getting a lot of the time, and they've got the rotation, so in the long term, they might be able to do this, but they've got to stay on the time to prevent them from running out of it. 25 seconds left here, do or die time, Chef.
Yeah, 20 seconds of score left for Team Final Strike and 20 seconds on the clock. Absolutely nuts. You guys have to have the rotations on point for cTc if they want to come back from this. Any contest, huge. And it's possible that they just lose here. Look at Team Final Strike, able to just hold this down. It seems like these interior close quarter places. These Team Final Strike absolutely have it down. cTc all around this point, trying to push in. Here comes the contest. That's going to be time off the clock. 7 seconds left. Team Final Strike needs this right here. Just able to hold it off. 3, 2, 1. Contest is there. That's it.
That is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Nail biter to the finish, but Team Final Strike will be taking our first map of the night. As we predicted, it's going to be the map that could be the most trouble for cTc, and it is going to be turning out that way as well, as their opponents beat them by a narrow but convincing margin.
Yeah, it's crazy how long that went down to time. cTc definitely had a crazy count against them for the score, for the time on the clock. Any contest or any time not on the hill was more time they were losing. Trix, what did you see that game, man? What were you thinking?
Hey, I was massively surprised, in my opinion, that cTc Gold could do what they did, bring it past 200 points with a sub on their roster as well. I thought that was huge, because not a lot of teams can even say that they were able to break past 100 against Final Strikes, let alone cTc break past 200 and push them the distance in that hard point on Bo Cage. And if that isn't already a nice pilot light for the rest of the season, not the rest of the season, but the rest of the series, I don't know really what could be. But a Search and Destroy coming up next, it could be a change of pace that maybe cTc need to be able to bounce back after this first hardpoint loss. What do you think, Chef? Because we talked a bit about the Search and Destroy beforehand on the 2 maps and whatnot. Do you think that this could be the change of pace they need?
Well, going to Berlin S&D, definitely cTc needs to come out the gate hard. Not sure how the sub is on S&D. However, their captain's out. I assume the captain's out there is making plays. Zim probably has a lot of strats in his pocket to get his team coordinated, who's grabbing bomb and whatnot. And hopefully the team was able to get all of that in the few seconds they had trying to find the sub and get him in here. It comes down to if they were able to practice with him. Maybe they were hosting some 8s and he was in there. And, S&D is all about the strats, and having a substitute can really be detrimental to your team. So maybe Final Strike can come out on top of the fact Final Strike is an S&D team.
Yeah, that was a really big point that was drilled home really nicely by Comica earlier on. And, well, Comica, when it comes to the Search and Destroy coming up next, with the momentum that Final Strike has, as well as the prowess and the skill that they bring, do you expect this to be a very clean and quick Search and Destroy on Berlin? Or do you think that maybe not so much because it's cTc?
Honestly, I'm a little bit conflicted on this one. There are a lot of things going up against cTc in this one. I gotta be totally honest with you. One, as you said, is the fact that Final Strike, they are a Search and Destroy team through and through. They go toe-to-toe with the best of them, and a lot of the times come out on top. And so they're obviously accomplished Search and Destroy team on their end. On the other end, you've got cTc Gold, who has their main shot caller in Zimothy absent tonight. And so that being a big part of the mode is having your shot calls, having to adapt on the fly to a team that as complex as Team Final Strike. I think that's going to present a massive difficulty to them. But obviously these guys, they played together a really long time. Fun fact about cTc Gold, these guys are some of the first people I've casted since the dawn of time, when I was casting the lowest of the low tier leagues back in Black Ops 4. These were some of the first people I cast, and they've sort of come up the ranks in quite some way to where they're now going up against Team Final Strike. And these guys have a very intimate relationship. They've played against each other and they've played with each other, so for like 3 years. So I know that these guys have got some chemistry even without their team leader.
Well, intimate relationship, chemistry without the team leader, those are 2 really important points to obviously factor in here in the equation. That maybe leads us to have once again, differing opinions. Now, one of the things I said at the beginning of the show was I got your guys' take and your thoughts on what the overall series score might be. Now I kind of want to know, based off of the talk that we just had over the S&D, are there some S&D predictions here that might shock us? Let's bring it on over to the chef. Get his first prediction here on who takes this S&D.
I mean, Final Strike has the history of S&D. They have their full starting team. They have the strats. We know they work. cTc doesn't have that captain calling the strats, calling the plays. It was pretty much whatever they could muster up in the time that they found out that Zim wasn't playing tonight of what they're going to get done. And sometimes that can work out. And we've seen what the substitute can do with them on that hard point. Couldn't pull out the dub, but stayed positive, got time on the hill. Liked what I seen from Dassen, but I'm gonna go Final Strike, like maybe 6-3.
Okay, we got a 6-3 from Mr. Gaming Chef, and over at Kyle and Comica. What do you think? Are you thinking a 6-3 Final Strike, or what's your number?
Honestly, I was probably gonna say the same thing, but just to be different, I'm gonna say 6-2 to Team Final Strike.
Wow.
Well, I said 3-0 at the top of the show, and well, we might not have saw any donuts in that hard point, but I'm thinking we might see a donut potentially here in this one of these two sides. I'm thinking it's going to be 6-1 Final Strike to take it, and our producer, Mr. 007 agent himself in Hero, says it's going to be a 6-0. So we'll see what happens. The action is here. I'm going to mute myself up, and you guys can enjoy the lovely voices that you have here for casting.
All right. 00K7, that is, I believe.
Yeah,
No.
I like that one. That was a good one, Chef. Good fun.
I'm a dad, it's official. I can do that. All right, rolling in. We are on the backs of Team Final Strike here, defending cTc, attacking this first round. Feeling like there's going to be a lot of B pushes, and it looks like a B off the bat. They try to set this one up. 2-2 split from Team Final Strike. I think they might get this B. What are you thinking here?
Looking like the answer is no so far, but Keprin coming around the side could complicate things. Does kill one off screen. Veery, in the meantime, knows that a rotation is going to be happening, but they know that a rotation is going to be happening. So cTc, 2v2, now it's just going to be Keprin getting naded out, forced into the eyes of Yeet. He's in a position where he can definitely do some damage, but surrounded and pounded is going to be Keprin on the objective. Rough start for cTc Gold.
Yeah, the rotations were there, but there's no getting out of that. Backed up right to Dassen's point of view. I mean, you're just surrounded. You have to push out, chow one of the players, and just hope the other one didn't get a few shots in for the chow. But definitely in a bad spot there for cTc on that first round.
Yeah, and it wasn't that bad of a setup. Veery got the intel that two of them crossed to A, so they're thinking, all right, 3v2 over on B. Fortunately, it didn't quite go that way. Trauma, he's a cracked individual. You can't just run down on him. So, yeah, that's just a little bit of something they didn't take into account on the first round.
Yeah, Keprin put up some big numbers first round, looking to put up some big ones again as they push A. There takes one and gets traded. It's going to be on Veery to hold this off while his teammates rotate. The bomb is down. Did not get in there in time. Just waiting for his team. I love that he didn't push in. He wants to wait for the trades. His team still has the numbers 3-3. We're going to see all who can get inside. It looks like Dyer did make the push. What can he get done?
Apparently not a lot. No trade going to be coming down before his opponent does get heals back on up. Yeet can be taking down another one. He's the one you got to look out for in this one. Sense knows generally where he's at. Can be hopping right on over him, though. Unlucky, man. Another great round for Team Final Strike. cTc Gold. They're making a good plays generally, but just the final execution of them is just a lot better from Team Final Strike. They anticipate the plays. They know where they're going to be coming from, and they just see the plays, despite the fact that they are good, coming a mile away.
Yeah, look at Yeet sitting at 3-0 now. Got the nice, easy shots on the back on two players so far. Definitely some skill on him as well. Able to chow what he can. That 2-0 start is not good for cTc. Already down 1-0 in the series, and now 2-0 in S&D. Their mentality's got to be down right now. Look at that. Yeet gets two more now at a 5 streak, and he's still hungry, and he gets another. Oh my gosh, trades out Dyer. What do you do if you're Veery? Nothing. Oh no.
If I'm Veery, I try to die by somebody else so we don't give the other team the ace just to avoid giving them some extra clout, but he is going to be dying by another sword. It is going to be from Team Final Strike regardless. And so, yeah, they keep having good thoughts, but it's just comes down to the unexpectedness coming out from Team Final Strike. They fed the ego of Why so much. He did something very similar to that in the hardpoint where he ran up on them solo and got 8 kills in a row completely uncontested. Same thing's been sort of happening. He's been feeling himself in the search and destroy, so he's like, why couldn't I just run out and kill these people right now? They wouldn't expect it, and they didn't. He was 100% right.
Yeah, Zents and Keprin is in there. Oh no, Keprin, YE is crazy right now. Oh,
dude!
It's back. It takes. There's no reason at full health. He still wins that. What? He didn't even get shot. Oh my. Oh my. Oh. Oh no no no. Oh. What was that?
I really thought he was gonna get it, Chef.
I thought he was too. I mean, why not? Just keep going. Jeez, drop the nuke on him. God.
I mean, like, what's stopping you from getting the ace in that situation? Definitely not your opponents. Definitely not them. You killed 3 of them.
Past him, and he didn't even get shot. Goes back into the cubicle and slays him out. God.
Oh, man. Maybe I was a little bit spot on there with my desire to be contrasting your scoreline.
Yeah.
Maybe I was even wrong on that one. Maybe I was too generous. Yeah. But yeah, YE 9-1, full streaked out. But cTc, they're learning from their mistakes. They know that YE, he's feeling himself. He's gonna run out on them again, but help from Dashin is gonna be sailing them that first kill.
Yeah, YE. Oh, does get taken out from the back there, ready for it, but Spitta goes for the trade. Now Veery gets it. It's a 2v1. Can cTc get this first round? Look at Spitta all by himself back there. But he's going to run out in the open end. They're ready for him. cTc get on the map with that early kill on YE.
That is a good read from cTc Gold. They realize that their opponents think that they can just run at them and slay them out, which has been what they've been doing for these past 2 rounds, and it's been working out for them. So why would they try and do anything different? They're just trying to speed run the rest of this game. And so cTc, they obviously pick up on that, and they, instead of going clean on into A, despite the fact that they perceive there to be a main power advantage, they are cautious of YE trying to catch them on the stairs because they know that he can beat them there, and he's willing to try and do something like that. So they just wait, and despite a few casualties, they do kill him, and that's one of the major things that won them the round.
Yeah, Zent's also not doing too well for his team here. 1-5. Oh, and we just seen on there getting taken out immediately. It seems like he's just not aware of what's going on with the strats. And it all comes down to Dyer that quickly, and it's all over that quickly. Jeez. Can't even cast it.
Yeah, a little bit of a poor setup there, I'm going to be real, for cTc. They didn't really have anyone covering the mid-map. So they had someone sort of run through the middle of the map and envelop their people that were on the back foot. They knew that they should just go straight on in for the shell, and you saw the hesitancy from Zents. That was a good thing to do. He saw that there were 2 people around the corner, and he would have gotten out DPS. He was trying to play it well, but unfortunately there was nobody covering his mid-rotation, and they just pinched him out, all 3 of them.
Yeah, well, we're going to see an A push here. Veery is staying back, looking for anyone trying to sneak through the center. Now the push is going to come through. I like the setup here. There's only 2 members they have to push through. They're not really sure which point they're pushing. I believe that's what Veery's trying to do here. But, I mean, it's got to be coming out now. Looking like A. Oh, there we go. That's 2. Jeez. Oh, man, what can you do from cTc Gold here? Both members in the center. Oh, jeez.
What can you do but pray and try and play off the backs of your teammates? Veery going to get singled out, though, so it's all on main man Keprin to get an ace in this situation, keep it alive. They know exactly where he is, though, so they're probably going to say, all right, let's just shell him out. Let's just run straight up at him because we can probably kill him. YE, who else but him, going to be getting the final kill. And Team Final Strike, they pretty much knew this was coming. I was one off with my prediction just because, but oh my goodness, Team Final Strike, even though we knew they were good in this mode, we did not know that they were this good.
Yeah, YE went big on that last round. Dassin got 3 in a row, almost had the full team, but YE, look at that, punching double digits in only 7 rounds. Well, Trix, you got it right, man. 6-1. Well, what's going on next, man?
I just had to quickly take a nice little bit of hydration right there. I'm not necessarily thirsty for correct predictions because I got one, but I might have another correct prediction if they do take this next map too. So added a happiness on my end. But you guys delivered a really happy and exciting and entertaining and enjoying cast of that Search and Destroy. I have to give you guys that pat on the back there. Comica, anything stand out for you from that maybe makes you feel that cTc still has some fuel at least to try to push into that hard point and give them another long run for their money go at?
Well, nothing from the Search and Destroy, if I'm totally honest with you there, dude. By the end, they were making a lot of clear and blatant mistakes, like the fact that they were trying to do some good stuff with some good holds on A, but instead they just got pushed through the middle of the map, and that's elementary. But yeah, if there's one thing I'm leaning on is the fact that they did really good on the rotations in the first map. Obviously, Tuscan, from my experience, is the best map from good old Team Final Strike's perspective. It's the map that I've seen them do the best on in a hard point. But from the rotational perspective, again, cTc was beating them out in that aspect. So if they can just hold a little bit better on these hills that they rotate to before their opponents, I think they can definitely lean on that to get a victory.
Yeah, without a doubt, though, that's my interpretation too. I think you said it better than me. But for Mr. Gaming Chef, it's looking like it's going to be a 3-0 potentially. For cTc to take this one, do you feel like they need Zimothy back? Is that sort of how desperate we're looking at right now? Or do you feel like there's still that holdout that we can have for this sub to really come in and make a better impact already maybe warmed up from the first two maps?
Well, S&D 100% needed Zim in there. For hardpoint, though, he definitely held his own. But from what I've seen on those hard points the other day from cTc, they definitely have it down. We've seen in that map 1, those rotations were still working out. It's kind of easy to call it as you need your sub to do whatever task he needs to do. Hey, stay on the point. Hey, rotate early. Do what you got to do. S&D, very hard to just do strats on the fly with the new guy. So I feel like hardpoint is where they could come back. We got 2 in a row coming if they can win this one. What I think they need to do to change it up, pretty much just kind of play the same game and, just hope that this is their map. They were losing a little bit extra gunfights than Final Strike were on that map 1. But, if this is more their map, if they are a Tuscan team, if this new guy has Tuscan as his favorite map, I think that they could pull this one out and get us to the game 4.
Yeah, and Comica, I wanted to touch on this. I really, very briefly, I mentioned control. Everybody heard me talking about when we went over the 5 maps. How do you think a control right now, if we were to have seen a control rather than the hard point, do you feel like you think maybe cTc would have liked that more going into this 3rd map to see a control? Or do you feel like the hard point, it really doesn't matter based off of the first hard point that we saw in the Search and Destroy, that regardless on the 3rd mode, they're still going to be looking like they're pretty much down and out?
Well, generally, teams that are good at Search and Destroy usually get really good at the 3rd mode instead of trying to contest their opponents for the hard points. A lot of really good Search and Destroy teams, I always use the example of Theory Nation and Modern Warfare. They were the best domination team I had ever seen out of anybody that was playing the game. They didn't lose it, even up against some of the teams that were better than them in a lot of the other modes. They might lose some Search and Destroys, but they would never lose their 3rd mode. So I don't think it would necessarily help cTc Gold the fact that, and I'm sure that Team Final Strike, being a challengers team, is already trying to hammer in these control maps.
Yeah, well, we are in the action right now, and it's Team Final Strike on the point. cTc has the favorable spawns. Can they hold it with YE pushing through? We've seen what he could do before. He does get traded out there, gets 2 kills off the start. Final Strike still sitting on the point. We want to see Keprin push in here. I'm seeing cTc hold this off. What do you think Final Strike can break through this?
Absolutely. They're already getting there, and unfortunately for Team Final Strike Trauma, they do knock him down. So yeah, it's going to be cTc holding it off for the time being, but already a detrimental amount of time being gained by Team Final Strike. cTc, they're trying to go back in here for a little bit of a late break, but that takes attention away from the rotation. They're focusing attention on the opposite side of the map of where Trauma is rotating right now, and as soon as Viri gets there, he's too late. Him and Dire will be going down. So he's going to be getting the tank heady first. cTc still trying to scramble back.
Yeah, they had the spawns, and I thought they were sending people through church to rotate, but no, they sent them through church on the P1 while there was not much time left, and that definitely was detrimental there. Trauma picking up that double in the back, absolutely crazy. Now look at that, they have the spawns. They're able to get close to this point. No one really on it yet. This was kind of a hard one to stand on, but cTc is still over 20 points behind, and there we go. They're able to sit on it. Rotations looking like cTc has the spawn, but there's no way that they're going to get this P2.
They have it for now, but with this wipe coming down on the people on the objective for cTc Gold, you know that Team Final Strike is going to pick up on this and say, all right, there's no way they're going to challenge for these last couple of seconds. Let's just go and try and beat these guys out on the rotation. They're starting to do that, but they've come to a little bit of a standstill where, unfortunately, cTc Gold is set up for this push, and it will sort of cause them to stagnate out.
Yeah, Viri in a very powerful position. Very difficult to get off of that point if no one pushes through roofs. And it looks like Trauma wants to, but the nice setup from Keprin here cleans that up. Now they're going to collapse, knowing that everyone's going to spawn in ruins now. Oh, look at this. Yeah, Dire, nice double. Holding this off. I'm seeing some nice holds here from cTc. I love the setup. Everyone's a little bit all over the place now, and I'm thinking Final Strike's closing in.
Be real, though, I don't like that push from Keprin. He pushed out into a completely fully manned Team Final Strike team, got killed, and put things into a 4v3 situation. No one can really cover all the angles without Keprin, so he pretty much put his teammates in a position where they had to really slay out in order to get this last little bit of time. So, yeah, one tiny mistake leading to the entire crumbling of the hill, unfortunately for them. And Dire doing a good job of standing his ground in the back, but they've still got people on the rotation like Dashin to worry about, and this could really be something that makes them uncomfortable with their setup, but with that kill, it's going to be allowing them to set up a lot better for this push on the most set-upable hill.
Yeah, Keprin was working through, got two very important kills there, and wow, okay, well, Team Final Strike just won pretty much every fight there at the end, as they're holding it off. The church is pretty nice one, like you said. Once you set it up, you got it pretty well, as cTc has to break in there, and it's not looking like they can. Team Final Strike is just better with the gunnies tonight, and especially on this map, as we see. Over double score. cTc not looking too hot right now. Their new guy, Zentz, honestly doing great. 43 seconds for his team, but only 1 second for Viri, and not many kills to his name. cTc's kind of all over the place.
Honestly, I think cTc just tried to do a little bit too much, watch too many things besides the main inroads to the objective. They got divided off each other's trades a little bit too easily, and that's what allowed Team Final Strike to push them together, because the attention was divided from cTc. So, now Team Final Strike able to get a lot of time off of, picking a lot of time out of cTc's pocket, and going into yet another good hill rotation. Spida doing a nice little bit of a two-piece there, and they aren't even breaking their first line. cTc, they're trying to extend off the objective, sort of like how Team Final Strike is doing to them and getting a lot of success, but Team Final Strike, they're not the type of team that lets their tricks work against them.
Yeah, I've honestly never seen a team hold this long of a time without anyone really running in. Final Strike has this lockdown nicely. Like, honestly, I don't even feel like they're having that strong of a hold. They're just winning their fights. Like, they already had a member rotating out. Like, no one's really contested. I'm not seeing many nades getting thrown in there. I'm not seeing any stuns getting thrown in there. Like, has cTc given up?
I don't know. They definitely need to hit the reset button. They've made a lot of solo pushes. Keprin going to be seeing Dashin, but oh man, the head glitch is going to be nasty there for him. Takes him down. Now, cTc Gold, they're trying to, again, I feel like they're being a little bit too greedy with their headies. Now, you see, again, Zed's pushing out a little bit too much in the middle. Dire is there to potentially get the trade, but they're overextending their zone of control to where they can't fully hold on to everything anymore. They do get a nice little bit, a couple of kills there, and Dire is going to be able to get some streaks to bat, so it will not be hurting them in the long run. But Team Final Strike, it's definitely a situation where they can capitalize in the future.
Yeah, cTc seems like they're just in an uphill battle here. They don't have much map control, and Final Strike is just spawning in over and over, and look how far back cTc has to spawn back. Final Strike is just a matter of time before they take over this one, though, but only 10 seconds left, and cTc still not on next. Look, Spida's like the closest one over there, and cTc's been spawning on that side this whole, like, P1.
Yeah, the good thing though for cTc is they will have a better presence towards the rotation, but ooh, Spida, unfortunately for cTc, a little bit quicker on the trigger finger. So he's going to be trying to hold things up, gets a little bit wall banged there, so Team Final Strike not going to be able to capitalize on this good ground that they gained early on, but they know when to stop, they know when to set up the tents, and they are going to be completely enveloping and killing their opponents off this objective. This is a really good show of skill when it comes to just teamwork disparities from Team Final Strike. It's definitely working wonders that they have their full team up in here at the very least.
Yeah, YE again showing what's up. Well, 5 streak now. Jeez. He's just slaying out, working this entire map like it's his job. 25 and 15 with 50 seconds on the hill. YE really showing out. I'm feeling like he's definitely the hottest one tonight.
Yeah, YE definitely going to be my man of the match by the end of the night with the amount of sprees we've seen him go on. The first map, he did great. I think he had the most engagements. He was slightly negative with 39 kills and 40 deaths, but that's a lot of engagement, so mad respect on that aspect. But the Search and Destroy, and in this map, he's absolutely killing it. So YE, if his team does go on to win, which is looking likely, we will have to give him man of the match, in my opinion.
Yeah, here the streaks come down. I mean, might as well if they're in the pocket. The points looking to get contested here. cTc had the spawn and the power positions here. They keep refilling in. Heparin with a triple, though, is going to flip this around. Big uphill battle if they want to take the win. I just think that they want this score to not look as bad.
Yeah, but I think they still think that they can win it. Dashin with another catastrophic streak is going to be killing one person, but actually kills like 4 people, dude. 3 people, excuse me. 2 of them are his own teammates, and that's going to be making them not quite as able to hold on to the rotation because they got to give more time to recovering, and it allows cTc Gold to play with more players left alive, able to rotate. Dire, he's on the full rotation, he's still got a streak in his back pocket, and they might be able to break the solo player off of the P4.
Yeah, they had the spawns. That streak definitely changed things up a lot that they weren't ready for. We see YE trying to push in there, looking to get some bodies. Didn't find anyone yet. Okay, he gets taken out by a pistol. Wow, that doesn't happen often. Dassen with Spida trying to get in there. cTc has the setup to hold this off. It's a lot of time on the hill if they can keep this whole thing, but they're getting picked off one by one. We see YE circle all the way around, so his team has the spawns to refill in. Big brain plays that's not even needed with 5 seconds left. They have to play for this one, plus rotate out. Like, it's just impossible. Dassen ended it on a 5 streak.
Yeah, Team Final Strike can be putting the final nail in cTc Gold's coffin on the night. It was much, much better than the first map especially. And because it's not so mixy of a map, this is, again, as I said, Team Final Strike, this is the map that I've seen them do the best on the hardpoint, and they do not disappoint once again on the night as they take the 3-0.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in on the action this evening. This was K7 League's day number 3 stream, and Comica and the Gaming Chef gave us an absolutely awesome casted experience of entertainment throughout all 3 maps. I myself provide only the value of prediction abilities because I'm 2-0 on tonight. And outside of that, maybe maybe some jokes here and there. I don't know, not really. But Chef and Comica, I'm going to start off with the Chef here. Let me know, is this something that you feel like the 3-0 was 100% deserved by Final Strike side?
I don't know if they deserved to get 3-0, but that's definitely what they brought to the table tonight. Final Strike, I could say, earned the 3-0 100%. They were just coming out, they slayed them. We seen YE. You know, this guy, I don't know what he did before the game, but he needs to keep doing that because it worked. He went out slaying 5. What was it, like a 9 streak at one point in S&D? Absolutely insane. Like, he was just not getting stopped. And with cTc having a sub in their hands, and honestly didn't really pull his weight in that S&D, and it's hard too without getting those strats. So I feel like Final Strike definitely earned the 3-0 tonight.
And I'll throw it over to you, Comica, on answering the next point in question, and that's cTc. it's only the first half of the season. They have a win, and then they have a loss against one of the top teams in their group, expectingly. How do you look to bounce back? How do you look to attack this team better the second time around when they face them in the second half of the season?
Well, first of all, you got to hope that you can have your full team up in there, because that does make a big difference, especially when he's your main shot caller. We saw it 100% in the Search and Destroy. cTc Gold, they don't normally make nearly the amount of mistakes that we saw them make tonight when they've got Zimothy at the helm saying, hey, you go here, this is the play that we're doing, and you've got someone instead who doesn't really know necessarily what these guys are going to be making the plays on. And so, yeah, cTc, that's going to be the #1 thing going into the next part of the season when they reface Team Final Strike. But yeah, I gotta say, Team Final Strike, they came to play tonight. YE, he looked like, I can't confirm this, but it looked like he might have been taking a little bit of glitch energy. So yeah, dude was absolutely popping off fire on full cylinders. Shout out to Glitch Energy, by the way, one of the sponsors of the stream. And yeah, that's to answer your question, cTc, gotta hope that they have their final player in.
100%. And if you are having trouble with getting your players into the match, maybe sometimes it could be the lobby. And in that case, we got to thank ourselves with Get Good Host, who have been helping us out as a sponsor, a part of the broadcast and whatnot. We got Glitch Energy, like you said earlier. Shout out to them. We've got Killer Jerky as well. And then we have a fourth sponsor that I have forgotten the name of, but it will and definitely should be fined for. But it's somebody I will be let known. It's designed by you, apparently. So you guys get to design for us something that's designed by you. Our fourth sponsor. Love those guys. But thank you guys so much for tuning on in tonight. The action was awesome. We enjoyed all of it together. We were able to digest it alongside Eat, and obviously the chef himself cooking up the meals, and Comica over here letting us know what the deals are. So thank you guys so much for tuning on in, and obviously coming in on board with us. And tomorrow at 8:30, we'll be back with more action. It will be M7 versus Veer. And it should be a banger there. I'm expecting Veer to hopefully not veer off course and instead take out M7. But we'll see what happens when we get there. It's been awesome, guys. We'll see you in the next stream.
They pull off the upset somehow, some way, complete the greatest comeback on checkmate. The Kaiser now down to a 1v1. Joe! Oh! They're going for the knife. They're going for the knife! I don't know if National Town are going to be able to get this going. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Valiant Gaming are going to be crowned your champions of the K7 League. Folks, welcome to K7.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh,
First kill there by Kill. The frags rolled on the second is going to be big. Rejects is there. Now Dassin trying to make the play. Will go for one. Tries to free fire onto the second from behind. Here comes Atomic for two.
this is what we know. Here we come back to life, we're still breathing. Standing up, everybody's gonna see it. Oh, all you need to know is that we're holding on. Even if we fall, we will rise up and we follow the path that we believe in. No, we're not gonna
Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Shifty here, joined by Alex McCormish. Hey, are you ready for this?
It's time, baby. Kill it back to the middle of the map. Rejects gonna slide out.
Goes in, slays people out, especially with the atomic on it.
Sure, Hawaii on the staircase. Actually gonna get killed by a reject there. You already see Kill back over towards the top house by P2.